In this brief video, I'm going to give you a first tour of the Max interface. So the first button in the interface we're going to look at is this unlock button, a little padlock in the bottom left. When the patch is unlocked, we can select objects in the patch and we can create new objects. And when the patch is locked, I can type Command E to toggle between locked and unlocked. When the patch is locked, I can then operate the objects rather than selecting them. This button here gives us a menu of all the available objects currently installed. You can see there's different categories of objects. I've got several packages of other objects that you won't see in your user interface displayed. The objects are categorized, so these are all the available Max objects. So message is a basic object. There are control objects and various other kinds of objects. The MSP objects are the ones that produce audio. So you can see they're categorized into different kinds. So you will have noticed that I created an object by dragging it. Here are some of the common objects. So the basic object, which can be turned into a specific object by typing its name, can be dragged in. So there's the cycle object. It's a sine wave oscillator. You'll also note that these objects have a keyboard shortcut next to them. So a toggle object, I can place my mouse somewhere in the patch and type T and I get a toggle object. Objects are connected with patch cords. You'll see more of this in the My First Patch tutorial. When an object is selected, clicking on the inspector button opens the inspector, which gives the current properties of that object. So we can change its color and its size and various other parameters. The reference button opens some of the documentation for that object. You'll see more information on this on the video about finding the documentation. And the Max console window opens a window where error messages are displayed. Now, you'll probably want to have this window open. You can see I've got it open in the background as a separate window. So to give you an example, I will create a new message. So I'll type in a random word, goose. And I'm going to send that message to the cycle object. I'll lock the patch, click on my message object, and you'll see an error message comes up. The cycle object doesn't understand goose. Now that might seem rather strange and random, but you'll begin to see that this Max console window is very useful for tracking down errors when your patch isn't working. Okay, so the final button I'm going to show you here is the audio on-off button. When we have an audio object in our patch, for example, the cycle object here is an oscillator. I'm going to tell the oscillator that I want it to make a pure sine wave tone at 440 Hertz, concert A, and I'm going to send that signal to an audio output. So this is N for new object, and I happen to know that the object for an audio output is called DAC for digital to analog converter. It has a tilde in its name because it's an audio object, and I connect the output. You'll notice we have a left input or a channel 1 input and a channel 2 input for the right channel. Now I'm going to turn the volume, lock the patch, turn the volume down here so we don't get too loud a signal, and turn the audio on. And you can see there's our 440 Hertz tone. When we make a new patch, File, New Patcher, from the File menu, we get a new patcher which we can create a new patch in. And we save a patch, File, Save As, in the .maxpat format. So you'll soon recognize maxpatches with the file name .maxpat. Okay, that's enough for this one. Look out for more tutorial videos.